Hello, everybody. Ben Joseph with Black Wolf CrossFit. We're sitting on March 21st, 2020. And down here in Houston, Texas, we've been going through a little bit of a quarantine scenario. Not quite quarantine. We need to be respectful of those communities that have been officially locked down. But periods of social distancing, and it's been a bit since it's been acceptable to be just milling about. And so I would say that we are moving towards more isolation. It seems that people are finding uh, themselves more willing to stay in to their own homes, or at least on their property, kind of thing. And I've had a lot of conversations with y'all in the past 3 or 4 days, especially with the equipment rental and y'all coming in and grabbing your equipment. And I've been able to talk with each of you, some more than others, but been able to at least see how you're doing. And so I've kind of gathered common concerns, pain points, and perceived opportunities from kind of the across a good cross section of the athlete base here. And I wanted to just get a first podcast or first live video out to touch base with the community and let you know that, or let you know where I stand, where I'm sitting, how I view this, what my responsibility will be to y'all over the coming days, weeks, months, maybe. I'm mentally preparing for 2 months. I think that chance it's a month, chance it's three. First and foremost, it's not the end of the world. I think I said first and foremost already. Trying to do better of not repeating my favorite phrases. It's not the end of the world. I want to get that out front. Okay. It's not the end of the world, but I do think we have to have a reasonable expectation that this could take a bit. And in that time, to bridge the gap, we are a in-person business. Our money is made by selling access to our programming in the gym. And you come in here and you're led by a coach start to finish, and then you go about your day. And we've always reached into your lives outside of here through the social calendar and other events. But for the most part, nobody would mistake us for being a virtual business. We're in person. And so now we're moving into a period of time where in person is not efficient, and at some point will be not allowed. The state has closed gyms, so I'm already not allowed to operate physically. But like, there are things we could do in person, and it's simply that we are moving into a virtual space, and what can be done, especially with the resources. We're not in a position to have a highly invested in app. There are some communities that have taken advantage of that, and I admire them for that. But we are able to communicate to you via these live videos on YouTube, Facebook, and occasionally Instagram. I don't think Instagram Live is necessarily the most fun thing. Does anybody get excited when you click on someone's story and it says story or live story? Like, does anybody like, oh, they have a live story? I've never been excited to click on that. So I don't think Instagram Live is ideal. But, and then the podcast and email. And then individually text messages and phone calls. So we do have the chance to stay connected. And I want to say that I'm going to, like, I'm not working for the next 2 to 3 months. Um, I'm not seeing this as a vacation. I get to benefit tremendously from not waking up at 4 a.m. That's where I check the box of, like, okay, let's get a reprieve. And I'm also not going to work all day every day, but I am going to focus on developing opportunities and channels through which to continue to create a network of support that y'all are part of. Not just me supporting you and also you supporting me, but y'all supporting each other. Because this disconnection, this gym was the hub. This gym was the community center. And so if we're not physically visiting this gym daily, that there's a danger there. And we need to make an attempt to create that online community center somewhere that we're able to interact together. There's been a lot shared in our athletes only or members only Facebook group. Every email I've sent has had a link to it. So if you don't know about it and you're a member here, come on, man, check your emails, check your emails, check your emails. Like, you're probably a part of it. You don't even realize it. If you don't utilize Facebook, and that's something we'll talk about in a little bit, because I think the sensationalism that's going on, and no, that's not me saying the media is sensationalizing, although they are. We're going to have to navigate that, because I should say it now. The meme I just saw, hey guys, I need help. All of the most prestigious doctors in the world are saying that this is a serious threat. We need to take it seriously. But also, a buddy of mine from high school who claims to see through the media is saying it's not a big deal. I don't know who to believe. Like, just roll that through your noggin. All right. This is serious. So when I say sensationalizing, I don't mean that the media is playing up how serious it is. But I do think the media is prone to clickbait. They need to sell ads, even. And that's what's really frustrating right now, is seeing like the political response, and then seeing the media response, where unfortunately they're still like headline grabbing, and they need it because that's how they make their money. I've yet to find a news source that's just like delivering the facts, like coming in like CDC announced this, WHO announced this. And so that's been frustrating, very, very frustrating. And then what I think also happens is we get sucked into the online world for the bad, and that's what we're gonna talk about as I try to get y'all's ideas on how we can create a network of support without you living on Facebook or Instagram, because that's going to be, I think, a big repercussion of this downtime, is that you're going to spend too much time on social channels, and mental health is going to deteriorate. And it's not going to be from the isolation. It's going to be from just inadvertently consuming topic after topic and opinions on topics that you don't need to pay attention to. Like, you don't need to read your friend's status about how they're still going out. You don't need to read it. Like, that person doesn't need to be dead to you, but like, you just don't need to be aware that they're that dumb, because you're going to have an opinion on it. And it's either going to tempt you to go out, or it's going to tempt you to have an adverse reaction to that person, which is the right reaction. But you don't need to waste your energy right now judging others, even when they're screwing it up. If you aren't going to have a role in their life, meaning if someone posts them out, like they're out right now, say that there were still bars open and someone is still out on the patio of a bar drinking with their friends. Unless I'm going to have a conversation, and like a real conversation, not a snide remark, like a real conversation with that person, like, hey man, like, that's not great, then I don't need to have an opinion on it. I need to wash my hands and move on. All right. And I think that's one of the downsides right now, is all of our downtime is going to, if we're not intentional with our time, is going to have us on our phones, and our phones are just going to build up anxiety, FOMO, whatever. But anxiety, it's all versions of anxiety. Like, if you don't think you have anxiety, let's have a chat. Probably do. It's just probably something you're not comfortable identifying, or you haven't been educated on identifying. But I know for me, social media is a tremendous source of anxiety for me. When we closed on Monday night, I saw gyms open for the rest of the week. We didn't get the official state governor signed order till the end of the week. And I am not here. I judged plenty, and I'm not better for it. I was watching, and I judged more critically, because then I felt they were putting me in a tough spot, because now, should I have been open? I felt confident that we had made the right decision. Y'all's reaction to the decision to close after Monday was supportive, but that doesn't mean, like, I also had in the back of my head, I was going, okay, well, maybe we should hang out for a few more days, because technically we don't have to close. And as long as we're being careful, and I felt very confident we were being more intentional in our programming, the equipment you were using, how you were treating it, you were not sharing it. We weren't even sharing it within the hour. We weren't using rowers. We weren't using bikes. I didn't understand the gyms that had multiple athletes on air bikes, in this last week, really in the last 2 or 3 weeks. You wipe down the bike, assuming, and you're like, we're good. Hey, man, what happens to the air when you're over that fan? It gets injected into your nostrils, into your mouth, into your lungs. So I don't know how viruses work, but if we're saying things like we got to be 6 feet apart, then I don't think launching the air, forcefully injecting the air from the fan, which was not wiped down, from the cage, which was what, it just didn't make sense, man. And it's little thoughtless things like that that you see where you're going, okay, if you insist on being open, if you're going to really take this to the line, then be really, really intentional with how you program. Don't use the same section of mats. Don't let them touch the same pull-up bars. Like, and you weren't seeing that. And so there was a lot of like opportunity for judgment. And I caught myself plenty of times getting anxious as a result of the actions of others. Same with seeing people, even some of my athletes, out, out at restaurants, at bars. And it wasn't under the guise of I'm supporting my local bartender, which if you're going to do that, you would have walked in, slammed a 20 on the desk for a glass of water and be like, there's your tip. I'm out. That's support, man. You being there with 30 other people in a small space, that's not support. That's the opposite support for the community around you. Again, unless I'm going to have those conversations, I don't need to be aware or worried about that. That's not my concern. Okay. We need to be kind of prioritizing our well-being here. And that's really what I wanted to sit down and talk about today. Is kind of laying out the foundation for the coming weeks. First and foremost, if you have any issues with finding shelter or food in the coming weeks, please let me know. Okay. We have a great community here. In fact, yesterday I announced that we have already had 4 athletes get laid off or fired or let go or furloughed or whatever other language you want for their business is no longer supporting them as we confront some harsh times. All right. And immediately I had an official HR packet in my email from one of our amazing coaches who works in HR. And then I had 3 other people sending me resources, asking what the skill sets were, and really engaging with how can we help. And so the same will go for if you end up with the landlord that demands the rent that you don't have, and we can't find like the legal remedy during this time. Like if anything befalls you, you will be taken care of. We will come together, unite to take care of you. So I want to try to remove as much of this anxiousness as possible. We have a great, hell, man, I got 10,000 square feet here. We'll turn this place into a shelter. I've lived here. I lived here for 15 months. All right. You can live here too. We'll do it together. Like you're going to be okay. Okay. So, and I don't think we're all in that boat. I hope nobody's in that boat, but just, I know it's because it's rolled around my mind. So I know it's at least crossing some people's minds. Like what happens on April 1st? Fine, I've got rent for April 1st. What happens on May 1st? I won't have worked all of April. Where's that money going to come from? A $1,200 check from the government would be a godsend, but it's still not going to pay my rent and my groceries and my medication and whatever. So if you're concerned about shelter, you have any issues there, reach out. If you have concern with it at any point with food, a grocery store is still open, still able to find food. Amazon still delivering. That's what Madison has found, still getting delivery through Amazon from the Whole Foods and the 365. So we still have food. I was in Walgreens yesterday, still open, fully stocked. So the food should not be as much of an issue, but maybe it's a monetary thing that you can't get food because you don't have the money. Like just let me know. I'm not gonna put you on blast. Nobody's gonna know it's you. We're gonna take care of you. Okay. I want to get the low ones first. If you find yourself at the bottom, do not give up. That is why we are in this together, okay? We're in this together because we're all going to be at different levels here, okay? And we can pull people up, and the people that are above pull up, and the people that are down get that support, and we all unite as one. So that's it. If you got those tremendous existential fears, you're going to be taken care of. We're in this. I promise, I promise, I promise. It's literally the reason the business exists. God knows it's not to make money. Probably should be to make money. It'd be nice if it made money, but it's if there's one thing it's done, it certainly has not made money, but it has certainly served to take care of people. And that is why I have not quit, even though financially there have been many times, including January, as you know, where we should have shut our doors. But we are here to take care of each other. So again, food, shelter, medication, those really important things, kind of hierarchy of needs there. If you have any issues, let us know. So now moving on, assuming that we're not there, okay? We're not there. The things that I've struggled with in the last few days is one, establishing routine, and that seems to be a common one. We're kind of bewildered by this. We're sitting there with our days, and when people came in, picked up equipment, we chatted about like what is your view of your day? How do you structure this? There are people working at home that are still absolutely working. There are people that now have time off. Teachers are kind of being thrown into this virtual classroom, but some are just there in case, but others have to be more involved. Like, we're all kind of growing into new roles or kind of finding out what our new roles are. And it's still, again, week one of this. So the first thing that I've learned is when there's a new thing, it's not all worked out day one. So, I wake up today and it's the first Saturday where it's the end of the week, and I feel like we've navigated the strangeness of this week pretty well. So I wake up on Saturday and I still feel anxious. And I'm like, man, this really should be working out. I should feel better about what we're doing. I did everything I was supposed to. And like, here's the deal, man. It takes a while to settle in. It takes a while to find your stride. So the big enemies here are going to be self-imposed. The big enemies in the coming weeks. And I think that's going to be, for me, the challenge. The government, it's not my enemy right now. I don't think they're doing a great job. I think, like, there was an article the other day and it's talking about like the federal has failed us, but state and local have stepped up to be leaders. Houston is also not yet identified as a hotbed, so I don't think as much focus has been kind of down here. But I see a lot of people that are already trying to be angry about the government. Let's cross that bridge when we get there. Okay. I'm not trying to appease. I'm not trying to advocate for. Again, this is all about, let's stress about what we are able to execute on or affect. And let's not make assumptions about what we might need to stress about in a month. Okay. There's a difference between being prepared and simply being anxious. And so right now I'm waking up and I don't have any enemies. I don't have any overwhelming challenges. This is a challenge, but I'm not any closer to going out of business than I was before this came to us. I'm also not any closer than the next business. Well, the dentist office that we don't know is out of business. And, we got some interesting businesses here, but let's say the other affiliates in Houston. Okay. I'm not any closer to closing than they are. And so, like, I'm in the same boat, so I'm not going to worry about it. I know that I'm going to work hard, and what will be will be. And I think that the only reason I'm able to kind of check my anxiety there is there's literally nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. I can't make the virus go away. I can't make it okay to start recruiting people to come work out here again. I can't. It's out of my control. So I'm sure I will find moments in the coming weeks where that is very, very heavy on me, and it's causing anxiety. But right now, I'm telling you, like, there's nothing I can do. So I'm going to do what I can in terms of connecting with y'all, but I'm not going to make that an enemy right now. So I wake up today and I have this anxiety, and I need to not bully myself or shame myself about it. It is okay to feel restless right now. It is okay to feel uncertain. But it is not okay to shame ourselves for that. And that is where I think that routine is going to be really, really important. I believe that we will be well served now, and I think we are well served in life when we establish routine. I think that having a time you go to bed or aim to go to bed and having a time you wake up will serve you really well. And I don't mean just so you can get in the routine once you get out of quarantine or out of self-isolation or social distancing. I'm saying to get us through this. If everything is a blur, if I'll go to bed whenever my head lays down and I'll wake up whenever my eyes open, I think days like that are fine. But I also think that structure, one, gives you something to look forward to. It gives you a check to mark off or something to check off the list. It also will allow you to operate more effectively in the few areas that you choose to each day. If you're waking up willy-nilly, then who's to say when do you eat your meal, or when do you do your home workout, or when I feel like it? And that, I've met a few people that works for, but it's very, very few. And I'm talking a few over 10 years, not a few every day. Most people, the structure is what affords them the opportunity. And so what I've struggled with is understanding what that structure should look like. You know, do I need to be waking up at 7 every morning and getting something out for y'all, or for me to connect with y'all? Um, or is it okay if I sleep till 9 each day, and if I sleep till 9, I can stay up a little past 10, but if I wake up 7, I can go to bed at 10. And like, again, it's all the same. Technically, the time frames just shift depending on when the bedtime is and when the wake up time is. But the struggle for me will be the routine and understanding, but I also know the opportunity lies in that routine. So, one, I'm wondering, have y'all begun to establish a routine? Has it crossed your mind? Does the thought rub you the wrong way? Because I absolutely see that if you live a very rigid routine as a result of maybe the kids or maybe the job or other circumstances, and this is an opportunity where you can breathe a little bit better. You don't have to have the kids ready at 7 a.m. And maybe you're fortunate that they'll sleep past that, or maybe they still get up early, but it's not as demanding if you don't have to have them dressed and eaten and clean. Nothing on their face by 7 to get in the car to go to school. Maybe you've been forced into a very rigid routine, and this is your chance to rebel, and you don't want to have it. Do you feel that way? Does that make sense? Like, just kind of let me know your thoughts there, because again, it's your feedback that allows me to kind of craft where the message goes and what we focus on, and I can't do it without that feedback. So, as you heard that, what are your thoughts on that? Were you planning on creating a routine? Now that I say it, does it make more sense? Or are you still against it? Or whatever. Like, what? I can't come up with all the questions, but what do you think? What do you think about that idea of establishing routine? And do you believe that it will help you kind of navigate the coming days and coming weeks? So, I also want to emphasize, and this kind of goes into this book. So after I get done with this, I'm going to record the podcast for chapter 1. I'll probably do chapter 1 and chapter 2. I have an idea of doing this in the mornings live as I read it. Not as I read it, after I read it. You don't need to watch me read, and you don't need to watch me create. I like fumble my way. But once I've read it and kind of created the framework of my thoughts from it, sharing it with y'all, as I've shared, I don't understand how this works. So that's backwards. Okay. Because again, but if I'm on my phone, it's not backwards. Okay. It's all right. Someday I'll have an audio-visual guy or a gal with me, person, and they will be able to do this for me. But for now, this is backwards, but it says The Obstacle is the Way. It's by Ryan Holiday. All right. And literally the subtitle is The Timeless Art of Turning Trials into Triumph. I did not intend for this book to be so fitting for what we're doing. And just leave that. There you go. I didn't intend for this to be so fitting. It was what I had started to read before this kind of all kicked off. And then I reread it because I was like 5 chapters in, which is not very far, but I was reading I was kind of doing like a daily devotional. And then I realized that like the whole message is spot on, but the first 2 chapters, chapter 1 is there's an opportunity. There's opportunity in every trial. And then chapter 2 is your perception of the obstacle is what creates the pain. And I mean, could that be more fitting? Like, and that's the next thing I wanted to talk about, which I'm somewhat excited about, is what are the opportunities? So we are very aware of the downside, right? Like, I might lose my job. I might lose my business. I'm not going to lose the business. We're going to be here. I'm not leaving. Like, I'm not leaving. Like, I'm sorry. I've had too many things try to make me leave over the last 5 years in this business. I've had too many people try to make me leave over the last 10 years in this industry. I'm not leaving because I am here to connect and help y'all. And if I don't have your help, then my life goes to shit too. So we're stuck together. All right. So when I say things like my business might end, what I'm saying is the current version of this business, there's no guarantee it opens again. It will open. Because I want to empathize with those small businesses. I get it, man. Your landlord comes down quickly on your rent payments. You're done. You're out. Insurance payments, all these things that we still owe, even if people aren't taking part in this. all the corporate responses, you know what? Not one of my corporate responses, all the vendors I work with, everybody that's so eager to send out a bullshit email about how much they care. You know what? None of them have anything to do with delaying payments, deferring payments. Nothing. It's all about, well, want you to know what we're doing. We're letting our employees work from home. So good. But then it's funny because yesterday I received 3 second emails from various corporations that then said, sorry, as a result of coronavirus response, our call times are longer than normal. So you sent me an email to tell me, I guess, that you're taking care of your employees. And it makes me feel good that you are. But you framed it like there was a benefit, like you cared. You were empathizing with my situation. Instead, what it was a subject line that empathized with my situation. And then you just let me know your situation, which actually then is more difficult on my situation, which again is fine. Your employees should not be in the office. They should be home. Okay. But I'm a little sick of getting my finance company or getting my no names, getting these various companies to send me these I care emails, and nothing is about, hey, if you're having trouble with payments, one, the company I lease the floor scrubber through, is it the air? The floor scrubber through. I started reading it, nothing. Skip paragraph, nothing. Third paragraph, I think it was third paragraph. Starts going like, and if like financial times befall you or struggle through financially as a result of the closures and pauses of business, be sure to check with us because we can offer working capital. So if I'm having trouble paying the $238.47 that I pay to this company each month, which we're fine, the solution, even though you know the business is shut, you know that the whole economy is frozen, your solution isn't, hey, man, we'll move that payment we'll just add a month on to the end of the agreement. I'm not asking for it to be dismissed. Hey, we'll spread it out over the remaining payments. Not asking for it to be dismissed. In fact, just don't mention it. I assume I'm going to pay it. I assume that you're a dick, and I assume that I'm going to pay it. Honestly, it's not fair to say you're a dick. I assume that when dealing with companies, that it's binary. Like, did you agree to pay this month? Yes, I did. I didn't know coronavirus. I didn't know I wouldn't be open. But I signed a 36-month contract 2 years ago, and I know I have 12 months left. It's just facts of life, you know? But then you send me this email that makes me think there's a chance that you're empathizing, you're connecting with where I am, where your clients are, and instead you're offering me to invest more money into a service you provide because working capital just means paying more finance charges. So what are we doing here? Like, why not just make it a marketing email and say, hey, tough times ahead, we offer working capital. Like, just do what it is. It's an advertisement, and that's fine. I'm getting advertisements every day. Like, I forget that there are people that are sitting on lots of money right now, even though they're not working. And so, like, when I get a bunch of emails every day about investing thousands in home gyms, for me, I'm like, man, don't you know we're all losing our jobs right now? How dare you want me to spend thousands of dollars with you? This seems insensitive, seems weird. But then I recognize we're not all the same class. We're not all in the same place. And you're allowed to keep advertising your business because also you have employees and also owners need money. And so they have a business that they sell online and they're allowed to. They're fine. But sorry, a little bit of a rant there. Let's get back to it. When this started, when it became clear that social distancing would likely lead to self-isolation, eventually probably some version of government-required self-quarantine, that's an obstacle. It's a tremendous obstacle. An obstacle that we don't know anything about. I don't have much experience with this. We don't know when it ends, how long it will be. We have some time frames. Reports out of China. Seems like they're on the backside of it. Who knows, man? Who knows? All right? Let's not put stock in any of that. Let's take this day by day. But it was an obstacle. And most went straight to the negative impact. Most of us became very aware of what could happen And almost everything we took inventory of what was possible was negative. I believe there's a tremendous opportunity for positive. Okay. One, not everybody. Some of you work for companies that seem to not really care about you. You got work. So, like, and I think they know that. Like, they're like, hey, man, still letting you work. I don't know. That's a weird line. And so for you, you have some other things. But for the most part, it's amazing to me that when this happens, how it allows us to almost focus on what's actually important. And so that means these pauses in our normal routines, yes, they're disruptive, but they're creating opportunity. If you're stuck at home, most of the time we complain that life doesn't afford us enough time at home to take care of the things we want to take care of at home. There's your chance. If you haven't been reading, you got the opportunity. If you haven't developed that hobby that you bought into a few years ago, I don't care if it's a coloring book, man. I got colored pencils. Come grab them. I got a coloring book in there too. Like, my point is, get Duolingo. Duolingo. All right. Duolingo on your phone. It's not the only app that does this. I'm trying to see. I don't think there's anything embarrassing on here. This guy looks like an owl. Okay. Sorry. Again, I'm sure someone would tell me that this is too bright. I don't think you're going to be able to see that. It's backwards again. But anyways, that's a language learning app. It's gamified. It's fun. It's like a little questionnaire. I think you're on each one for 3 to 5 minutes, and then you get to graduate. There's a ton of languages on there. Awesome, man. Awesome. Okay. But see this as an opportunity. See this as a chance, even in the most infinitesimal, small way. One thing you can improve. Hey, you've always been in too much of a hurry to make your bed in the morning. Cool, man. Make your bed every morning of this. Okay? Every morning, because you're going to be there. Not in a rush. All right? Like, this is creative writing. Talking to Robert. He's going to start writing over this break. Hasn't written nearly as much as he'd like to. There we go. Let's develop our skills here. We have a chance to make this better. All right? So that's the opportunity. The things that I'm going to work on, one, it's going to get me to finally like lean into this. I'm going to try to get better at how do you present on a YouTube or a Facebook Live? How do you create content that people will benefit from and consume without being awful at it? The other things, the reading, I've already started reading. This book has helped, but I don't really consider this reading. So it's okay. I'm not embarrassed because I think you should read it too. But I'm reading "You Are a Badass" by Jen Sincero, and I think it's great. I don't think I liked it when it was first introduced to me, and I'm reading it and I love it. So "You Are a Badass" by Jen Sincero. It's been really good. And then I'm gonna go read. My next book will be "The Sun Also Rises" by Hemingway. I haven't read that in a while, and it's I believe my favorite of his. Well, "A Movable Feast" is my favorite, but in terms of like his classic literature, I think that "The Sun Also Rises" is my favorite. So that's book number 2. I plan on reading. I'm writing every day already. A lot of that is focused at, again, trying to create connection with y'all. And then there are projects at the gym. As long as I'm able to get here, I want y'all to walk into, I don't think I can do enough for it to be a new space, but I do recognize that this is a chance. I complain a lot to myself that I don't have the energy or the time because I'm always either coaching or I'm needing to rest. Well, right now, man, if I can get up here, I can knock a project out every other day and you'll get to walk in and at least it looks like time was put in. So I see this as opportunity. Again, don't have any kids, no real responsibilities. I understand that. And I understand that not all of us are in the same circumstance, but I will not accept that just because you chose to have kids or just because you have a certain relationship dynamic that you don't have any opportunities here. Okay. So see the possible, because if you focus on the not possible, if you focus on what might not be possible, if you focus on what might happen, you're in trouble. you're in trouble and everybody around you's in trouble. Okay. We have opportunity here. Doesn't mean we have to be happy it's happening. It doesn't mean we have to be glad. It doesn't mean that. It means we wake up and we go, this is my current situation. Here's what I'll do today to take advantage of it. End of story. All right. So, what do you plan on working on? Do you have hobbies? Like, that'd be the big one. Hobbies. Like, nothing wrong with that, man. Like, model cars. I don't care. Crochet. Needlepoint. Bring back needlepoint. What happened to that? I know it was another generation's hobby, but bring back needlepoint. Gardening. I mean, plants still got to grow. They don't have coronavirus. Learning an instrument. Plenty of opportunities. I'm not going to guess all the hobbies. I'm realizing what I'm doing here. Is that pandering? I don't know. You know what hobbies are. Is there anything that you'd like to start? And that's another one. Community. Let me know. I won't put you on blast again. I don't have to mention it, but I'll know who knows what you want to know, and I will make you connect with that person or help you connect with that person. So is there anything by way of hobbies or special interests that you'd like some information on? And I'll find that person that does it. We got all sorts of practitioners here. Okay. All sorts. Arts and crafts, got someone. Okay. Instruments, actually have a few people on instruments. Good book recommendations, got people for that. Like, what do you want? I got someone for you. Okay. Places to run that aren't Memorial Park because it's not social distance there right now. I got people for that. I'll tell you the best places to run. Hell, I know some great, what do I know? 8, 12, and 20-mile courses in and around Houston, not at the main park, that you can enjoy, get out, see the city, especially with the ghost streets right now. So that's what are you going to take advantage of? What do you think you would enjoy investing your energy or putting your energy towards in the next few weeks? Okay. Again, Obstacle is the Way, Ryan Holiday. Grab that. It is on Audible. I think it's really appropriate for what we're going through right now. All right. Get that out of the way. The last thing, and this is something, yeah. I want to create I don't know if we need to do a newsletter. The Facebook group would work, but nobody's on Facebook, so I think email might be the best. But kind of like a pop culture, and that can sound shallow, but I don't know. What are you watching? What are you listening to right now? What are you finding entertaining? We Summer, Janai and I, and then Kim. It was Janai and I, then Kim, Janai and I, then Kim had to leave, and then Summer was there. So it's kind of a bunch of different conversations out in the parking lot today. And one talked about binging. Resist the temptation to binge, okay? It's just something, and like, I'm not, okay. I've watched too much TV. My escape from here has been over consuming content through my Roku. And I've long recognized that. But now that we're in a situation where we are looking for escapes to get away, get out of our reality. And I think that's great. That's what content, or that's what especially television movies should do, get us out of our reality for those moments. As we're looking for that, and as it becomes more and more important, there is nuance, there is technique, I guess, for lack of a better term. I guess nuance is the better term, to getting the most out of it. And first and foremost, binging is not it. And this is a little mental healthy. Like, this is not good for you to binge, but also like just to take advantage of the show. And so the example I used was the great best show on TV, Succession on HBO. If you have an HBO subscription, if you don't and you have the means, I would get it. You can pick up HBO through, I think, all the platforms except Netflix. Like, I had it on Amazon. I think I paid $14 extra a month. I only keep it as long as I watch my show, and then I cancel until the show renews. And I don't really look for other shows because I don't need another reason to pay $15 extra a month. I know I can find something that's 80 to 90% as good just on Netflix or Amazon. And I watched Succession. So I binged, I think I watched season 1 and like usually like 2 to 3 shows at a time, 2 to 3 episodes at a time, because I caught on to it after it had already been out. And so by the time I was coming to Succession, I believe it's either that or Billions. Billions is not as good. It's on Showtime. Still entertaining. Still entertaining. Great actors, like great acting team by everybody. But it's more of a. Actually, they're both hilarious. I don't know how to describe it. Succession, though, I think is something that will last a very long time. And if you are maybe not rolling in the money right now, it'll give you some visceral responses emotionally to the upper class and how they live, and like selling stocks before the general public becomes aware of the coronavirus that's about to befall them. Succession, I can't recommend enough. But the lessons I learned. Season 1, I watched multiple episodes at a time. Loved it. And then season 2, I was only able to watch one at a time each week because I was watching it as they were posted to the online content, as they were released every, I think, Sunday night. I actually don't even know what nights they were on real HBO. So I was watching week to week. I got so much more fulfillment, and I absorbed and thought about so much more of the small, and there's so many tiny conversations. It's such a good show. You really ought to watch Succession. And let me know what you think. But I benefited from not binging it, is what I'm trying to get at. And I've listened to a lot of podcasts that talk about stuff like this, and they're talking about kind of the Netflix model of dumping the entire season up there versus like something like The Mandalorian, or really almost any other creator that drops episode by episode. So you can't just be done with it. It creates a longer conversation. So for content creators, and that's what the podcast is talking about, it's really hard to talk about Peaky Blinders, because once it's dropped, Peaky Blinders is another great show. Turn on your subtitles. That's Netflix from the BBC. Cillian Murphy, Tom Hardy. Oh, God, them boys. The Netflix model where you dump the whole season. Well, look, man, we're going to watch the whole season. And then it's over. It's over. You're done with your favorite thing in 3 days. That sucks. That sucks, man. Meanwhile, you could have watched episode by episode, and Peaky Blinders is just, I think, 6 episodes per season. That's 6 weeks of enjoyment. Succession's 9, maybe 10 episodes. I think it was 9 episodes. That's 9 weeks of enjoyment, So during this time, don't binge. But it's not just for the show. It's for you. And Summer pointed this out. I mentioned this in the video earlier this week. I found like what works for me. I can watch one drama, so like 40 minutes to an hour, or I can watch like 2 small shows, okay? And then I also talk about I watch a lot of content on YouTube, so more like 10-minute videos, 15-minute videos. So generally my day or my block of watching is going to be like one drama and then like something on YouTube to kind of get me going again, because it's more niche stuff. So I'll watch, if I need to work out after I watch the drama, I'll watch a Team Richie video, and I'll make sure to share these. So I really don't know what Richie's first name is. Kurt? No. Well, anyways, Team Richie, talk about start at the bottom. Now we're here. That boy and his girl Jazz, who just got a puppy. They're from England. They're now hanging out with Tia Claire Toomey and Matt Frazier on The Daily. And they were just fitness bloggers. But it's really cool. They've been able to get inside, like backstage passes to all the big sanctional events like Wodapalooza. They do stuff at the games. So I'll watch maybe a clip of him hanging out with Matt Frazier in his garage, which was last week, and that'll kind of get me going again. Or if I need to start working, I'll watch a Gary Vee clip, or I'll watch, I don't know, Y Combinator. That's more software. That's more programming and coding. The Y Combinator podcast from Startup School, I'll watch that. I know I've learned what works for me. But in the past, what would happen was I'd watch the show, and then I'd just put on either the next episode or another show. And I'd be like, well, when the spirit moves me, I'll get up. Well, guess what's not going to happen? The spirit's not going to move you unless you're intentional and you have structure. And so find what works for you, okay? So for me, again, to be more specific, it's either a drama and a clip, or it's going to be like a sitcom, like short comedy. I guess there's 30-minute dramedies. I don't know. A shorter show. And then like 2 clips, and I'm out. So generally like about an hour. I'm pretty good. I can recover and get a benefit from, but still go be effective with about like 40 minutes to an hour. When it gets longer, the only time it works when it's longer is if it's the end of the day and I'm shutting down and I'm all right vegging out. That's really the only other time it's appropriate. Occasionally, if I have a lazy morning, I'll lay on the couch with Jax. Madison's probably still sleeping. And I'll just watch F1 highlights, Formula One. And yeah, I've watched the same Formula One highlights for the last 6 months. And it's stupid, but I get great joy from it. I think it's the sound of the engines. The onboards are my favorite. Once you learn the drivers, and again, this is the one that I learned through the Netflix documentary, or I don't say documentary because they definitely produced it, but the Netflix show Drive to Survive. It's about Formula One, which is like open wheel racing. It's considered the highest level of racing. 300 kilometers per hour, which is like, that's average, like 180 miles per hour. They can get up to 220 kind of thing. Anyways, they're so low to the earth. And I really got into like the flow of the car, the artistry, the expertise, the fine line, the razor's edge, and watching the clips. Like, you'll literally watch it. They don't take the racing line. There's one of Valtteri Bottas, who's a driver for Mercedes, number 2 to Lewis Hamilton, who a lot of you know, if you don't even know that you know him. 5-time world, 6-time. Schumacher might be 6-time, and Hamilton's 5-time, or he's 6-time, and Schumacher's 7. I don't know, but he's 1 away. Or maybe he's tied with Schumacher. I don't know. But anyways, Valtteri Bottas, the Finn. By the way, also made me love Finnish people. Finland. You're good people. Based on Kimi Räikkönen and Valtteri Bottas. Stoic, no emotion. Kimi Räikkönen gets pole in qualifying. Ferrari's going, I think it was when he was on Ferrari. Ferrari's going crazy. And goes, Kimi, you got pole. And Kimi's like, okay, great. But Valtteri was coming around a turn. I don't know if it's a German Grand Prix last year, but it was wet. And this is how precise they have to be. His back left came off the racing line literally inches. Track wasn't hot there. I think it was actually wet there. He lost the back end, out of the race. The precision. I hate racing. When I was growing up, didn't care for it. Didn't watch anything. I watched Drive to Survive last year, and now it's just been F1 clips. Sorry. Little about me. I'm weird. You don't have to be that way. But my point is, sometimes I'll have a lazy morning because, hey, man, I got my coffee, I've got my dog, and I get to watch a lot of YouTube. And that's fine. But other than that, man, I need an hour or less on the couch in front of that TV. And it's okay if I didn't do something and go back. But what I don't want to find is myself on the couch for 2 to 3 hours straight in the middle of the day, because I don't rebound from that. It's so difficult. I'm not going to go work out after that. I'm not going to write after that. I'm not going to reach out to you guys. I'm not going to respond to emails after that. Like, I'm not going to do anything because I've set that tone. So find what works for you. Have structure. Even in leisure, we get more from our leisure when there's a bit, and we all need some people get more from leisure when there's great structure, and some people just when there's a loose structure, but there's still structure. Okay. So that's it. We're going to create a way to kind of have a conversation about what are you watching? What do you recommend? Because a lot of people are burned out on their shows. Summer pointed out that she loves The Office, but now that she can watch The Office every day, she doesn't love it as much. You don't want to lose that. Don't lose that love. Okay. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. So that'd be the last one. And then the final thing is, like, anything on y'all, let me know. Send me a note. You can comment on this video. This video will get posted even if you didn't watch it live. Ben@blackwolfcf.com, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Just send me a note. 713-806-1475. Text me. Wonder if that'll be a mistake in the future when we're huge. But it's about y'all. Like, I need y'all to be okay. I need y'all to let me know how I can help or how I can connect you to people that can help. We can't lose our connection. I spoke about that earlier this week. That's the danger. That's the fear. It's not, and I can't tell you it's not about your job, but we're going to figure that out. It's not about anything, honestly, except the loss of connection. I've hypothesized, and I'm not claiming this one, because I'm sure there are smarter men and women that have figured this out and have studied it. But I believe that everything that ails us is a result of lack of connection. I believe that it's failure to communicate. And I know that that's been communicated out there. I mean, talking about relationship issues, failure to communicate. And we hear it so much that we mock it now. But we cannot communicate if we're not connected. And so that's what this is all about. So honestly, you might find there might be days where I'm just going to sit on here for 2 hours and I'm not going to say like have anything like an agenda. It'll just be a chance for us to chat. We've talked about using Zoom meetings so that we could all kind of be on video and just be able to sit and chat. But I'm here, man. So put it in the comments. Let me know what you think. I hope y'all are doing well. I had asked a few questions through this video. I'll try to link what we talked about below. But that's it. This is about making the best of what we have. This does not have to be a miserable time. We have each other. We are able, if we try, to stay connected. And honestly, man, I think some things can come out better at the end of this. I don't think everything has to go. I do agree that some things will suffer inevitably, but there's no value in focusing on that. I believe we have an opportunity here. And so, and I talked about hobbies, but honestly, did you want to start a YouTube channel? Here's your chance. You want to start TikTok? Start that. Try it. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care if you want to start an OnlyFans page. Start it. You do you, okay? I will support you. I am proud of you, all right? This is your chance to try some things. And then when it's over, if you're like, well, that didn't work, erase it. Trash it. Get it out of here, okay? But don't just sit around and either just dwell in your self-pity or allow for anxiety to debilitate you, because that's my threat to, like, the threat I have, like the biggest, most likely thing to befall me is going to be me sitting still because there's too much. My mind has built mountains out of a million molehills. And honestly, what happens is it's one molehill, and then I make a mountain out of that one. And I go, well, actually, that molehill also had another potential mountain. And I go and pop that one up. And then the mountains turn into mountain ranges. And I go, wow, how am I supposed to function? So I know what threatens me. And I just want to make sure that you recognize what is most likely to be a problematic point for you. And then we can work to avoid that and never let it, kind of keep us from thriving during this time. All right, it's enough talking. I hope you're done. I hope I'm done. I hope you hope I'm done. Grab this book. Again, it's on Audible if we don't want to get a hard copy. That's all I got, guys. I hope you're doing well. Let me know. I miss you. I miss all of you. I don't know. Strange days. I don't think we have to pretend it's not strange days. Strange days. But damn it, we have an opportunity here. Let's take advantage of it. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Jack says bye. He was chasing some rain. He likes to be outside. So sorry he didn't say hi this time. I will involve the dog. I know I made that a little clickbaity last week, but he was in every video this past week. So he'll be in the videos in the future. All right, I'm going to sign off. Y'all have a great day. Let me know if you have any concerns or any questions. Have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday.